Wow, did a good job, extended that side brush. Hello everyone, it's just a dad. Today I'm going to do a comparison between the Shark PowerDetect 2-in-1 and the Roborock Q Revo Master. We're going to see how each one of them cleans up this kitchen. We're going to got a big muddy mess here. Both of these robots will vacuum and mop your house at the same time. Now I really love that both of these robots have LiDAR navigation. They do a good job of mapping your house. They got physical buttons up here for start and stop and dock. Now the Q Revo Master has a better sensor on the front. It can take pictures and you can do a remote access with the video on the front. This sensor does not take pictures or anything, but it does help with obstacles that are low to the ground. I do think the Q Revo Master does a little bit better job with obstacle avoidance. Now, the Master has a side brush that it can extend into the corner. The Shark does something a little different. It blows a puff of air. So it's got this edge detect right here, and then it blows a puff of air into the corner to help bring the dirt and debris in front where it can get vacuumed up. That's what this little opening right here is. It blows air out when it's up against the wall to bring stuff around to the front. Now let's take a look at the dustbin on the Q Revo Master. When it vacuums your house, everything's going to go into the dustbin. There is a filter in there that you have to clean once in a while. And then it's going to auto empty out the back here. This is where it charges the robot. This is where it fills the internal water tank. Both of them have an internal water tank. Let's take a look at the Shark. Here's its dustbin. You can see I do need to clean it. It's got filters that need cleaned, and then there's a filter here that you're going to have to clean once in a while. There's the water tank, but the base station fills this water tank up automatically. Right there. Now the way both of them mop is different. The Roborock uses spinning mop pads, where the Shark uses a flat mop pad that it vibrates it back and forth. Now the Shark can do one thing that the Roborock can't. It can remove its mop pad and leave it behind at the base station. Now both of them have a carpet sensor. Here's the Roborock. The Shark has 2 carpet sensors, and they can lift, so when they're vacuuming and they're mopping at the same time, when they come across carpet, they can lift their mop pads. Now the Roborock can move one mop pad right up next to the wall with this little arm here, and both of them spray the mop pads with water to keep them wet. And they're easy to replace. These are just held on with Velcro. Same with this. This is just held on with Velcro. You will have to replace this once in a while. But both base stations are going to wash their mop pads. Now they're going to wash them a little bit different. The Roborock is going to wash with hot water and dry with hot air, where the Shark uses room temperature water and just uses room temperature air to dry with. Now the Roborock has a dual brush roller. Let's take a look. And the Shark has a single one. Both of them try to help with long hairs. There's the comb that's going to help with the long hairs on the Shark. And over here, now the Roborock, the dual brush roller will help with long hairs, but you are going to get some hair wrap right here. This is pretty standard, but it is easy to clean. Pop these off and you can unwind that long hair, but you will get some hair wrap around each end. Now the Master can do one more thing that the Shark can't. It can lift this brush roller. When it senses that there's a spill of liquid on the floor, it can raise this so that it doesn't suck up the water or run the brush rollers through water, or when it's mopping only. They both have the cliff sensors that you got to clean once in a while so it doesn't fall down your stairs. Okay, let's take a look at the base stations. Here's the Q Revo Master. It's going to put hot water down here. The robot will spin the mop pads, and then it sucks the water up into a dirty water tank we can see here. And we have a clean water tank. Over here on the Shark, a little bit different. The clean water tank is bigger, and the dirty water tank is right here. We can see this one's been doing a pretty good job. Both of them have been doing a really good job of mopping. Shark's going to do a little different. It's got this brush that's going to move back and forth, and then it sucks up the dirty water. Now the Roborock is a lot easier to clean the base station. I just simply take this whole tray, I take this to the sink and clean it. Whereas on the Shark, there's no tray. There is a little filter here I can take out, but I'll have to put water down here and use some rags to clean it. You can see I'm starting to get a little bit of hair wrap around this side brush. Now the Q Revo Master has a dust bag. So you will have to replace this dust bag about every 2 to 3 months. Over here, the Shark never requires a bag. Now it is bagless. You simply just take this off and then open that, press that button, and then everything comes out. You never have to put a bag in. do have the odor neutralizing technology. Now, since it's bagless, you do have a filter that does get really dirty. It is a reusable filter, but you are going to have to clean this about once a month. Wash it, let it dry, and put it back. Whereas over here on the Q Revo, I simply just replace the bag every 2 or 3 months. No extra filters to clean. And again, there's what the clean water tank is, a little bit bigger. The tanks are bigger on the Q Revo. Okay, I told the Q Revo Master to go clean the kitchen. The first thing it's going to do, it's going to fill the robot's internal water tank up with water. Then it's going to wash the mop pads. That gets them nice and wet and clean. And what it's doing now, it's sucking the dirty water up into the dirty water tank. This takes about 2 minutes. And it's going to spin those mop pads at varying speeds. Now this dock has a special function. After it's done mopping the floor, it comes back, washes the mop pads, and when it's sucking the water up into the dirty water tank, there's a sensor it passes through. If that water's too dirty, it'll tell the robot, go back and remop an area you just came from. That's an automatic feature that's built into the docking station. Okay, it's going to travel to the kitchen. And it can travel over small thresholds too. Miss Fiona has joined us for our video today. Okay, we're going to see how the Q Revo Master does cleaning up this big muddy mess. So it's mopping and vacuuming at the same time. It's going to go around and do the perimeter of the room first. There's its obstacle avoidance. It is avoiding that electrical cable. Now it's going to sense that carpet and lift those mop pads automatically. Mop pads are lifted. And it's a setting called carpet boost. When it senses carpet, it's going to boost suction. Wow, did a good job, extended that side brush. Okay, now it's going to go back and forth and make the straight lines while it vacuums and mops. All right, so we're going to get a little bit of smearing. It's trying to capture that mud. All right, it's doing a good job. All right, now we're hoping for a remopping event. It's going to go back to the dock, wash those mop pads. There'll be too much dirt in them, and it'll go back and remop this area. Now in the Roborock app, I can see right where it's cleaning in live view. It even took a picture of that cable as an obstacle. All right, now it's going to mop, or it's going to vacuum this carpet. It's going to lift the mop pads. Okay, it's going to return to dock, wash all that mud that it captured off of the muddy paw prints, and we're hoping for a remopping event that the docking station tells it to do. This Fiona is taking a nap. All right, it's going to dock and wash those mop pads.
Starting to wash the mop.
Okay, the dirty water is being sucked up into the dirty water tank. Now at the end of this job, if it doesn't do a remopping event, it'll start drying the mop pads with hot air. But we're hoping for a remopping event that the base station, docking station is going to tell it to do automatically. And we will see it right here on the app, it'll tell us. Right now it tells us it's washing the mop. Okay, now it's emptying the dust bin.
Mop washed. Resuming
Okay,
cleaning.
we got a remopping event. This is the second cleaning. The mop pad's already wet and washed. It's going to go back to the kitchen and remop that area. And it's called a remopping event. This is an automatic feature right from the docking station. It told the robot, go back and remop that area you just came from. Okay, it traveled back to the kitchen. Now it's going to start mopping. So it's mopping only, and it doesn't do the perimeter of the room, and it doesn't have the vacuum on. So it's going to be a mopping event only, and it's going to go the opposite direction. So the first time it went this way, now it's going to go this way. That's why it's so much quieter this time. So you can see we do have some mud left. Wow, it's doing a good job. That's on there a little bit, but we got another pass. Not bad, pretty good. Wow, it did a really good job. There's a little bit left. There's a little bit left right there. Overall, pretty good job. Okay, so it's going to undock after it fills the robot vacuum cleaner up with water. Then it's going to travel to that room. Now when it senses carpet, it is able to lift the mop pad over carpet. Okay, it traveled to the kitchen. Now it's going to start mopping. So it's going to stop here and it's going to wet the mop pad. It has a water pump that it's going to spray water onto the mop pad to get it nice and wet. And then it's going to clean up this muddy kitchen. Here we have the Shark Clean app. I can see where the robot has traveled from. Now it is able to extend that mop pad to the side when it's up against the wall. Okay, here it's going to start mopping the mud. Yeah, did a pretty good job. Not too bad. It's got a little bit of smearing. That mop pad has to capture the mud inside it. Take it back to the docking station and wash it off. It's doing a pretty good job. So we can see it did a pretty good job. We got a little bit of smearing left on there. Now for everyday mopping, this is going to do a really good job. And again, it's going to go back and forth and make the straight lines. So there's the obstacle avoidance. It's trying to avoid that cable. Again, it's vacuuming and mopping at the same time. See there, it can lift the mop pad when it senses carpet. Now it can go back and remove that mop pad when it needs to vacuum this carpeted area. It's going to mop first and then go back and remove the mop pad so that it can vacuum this area. Because with it lifted up like that, it's not able to vacuum.
Cleaning mission complete.
Okay, so it's done mopping. It's going to go back to the base station and wash the mop pad. There it is, traveling back to the dock. Even this one spins once in a while when it's got its mop pad lifted up. It'll just stop and randomly spin.
starting to wash my pad.
Look who joined me, Miss Fiona. I don't have any treats. And so it's going to wash the mop pad with room temperature water from the clean water tank and then suck it up into the dirty water tank. At the end of this job, it's going to blow room temperature air onto the mop pad to dry them. Okay, now it's sucking the dirty water up into the dirty water tank. Okay, so at the end of the job, it's going to dry the mop pad. It's a fan. You don't hear it that it's not really loud, but you will notice it. And then once in a while, you just got to empty the dirty water tank. Wow, it's been doing a good job.
Returning to dock. Cleaning.
Okay, it's self-cleaning the docking station. There's what the app says. The robot came back.
The current work cannot be interrupted. Try again later.
The robot came back, washed its mop pads. After it was done washing the mop pads, it's doing this self-cleaning. What that's doing now, that's washing the base station automatically to help keep it clean.
Completed.
Now it's going to dry the mop pad. And it's very quiet. So I just learned something brand new. I've never seen that self-cleaning feature on the Q Revo. That was pretty cool. We'll have to check and see how it did. But that was after it cleaned the mop pads, it did something else and it put some water down there and I'm not really sure. Now, there's one thing that the Shark doesn't do that the Q Revo does do that the Q Revo doesn't. It can leave its mop pad back at the base station. I find that lifting the mop pads is fine on both of them. I do think the carpet sensor is a little bit better on the Q Revo Master, but again, they both struggle sometimes lifting them up right at the edges. Master has bigger water tanks. If you want bagless, the Shark is the way to go. I don't mind changing a bag. They make several different models of Q Revos. They all take the same bag. I think bags are going to be available for a while. Now, if you are worried about privacy, you can turn that camera off, but the Shark does not have any camera or microphone technology at all. All right, let's get on to price. The Shark can sometimes be around $1,100. That's retail. It's on sale right now for $700. That's an okay price. I'd like to see that for $600. The Q Revo Master, its retail $1,600. Don't ever pay that. That's way too much. I see it on sale right now for $900. So is the Master worth $200 more? Not necessarily. If you're on a budget and you're wanting a robot vacuum cleaner that does mopping and vacuuming bagless, the Shark, there might be some better ones out there like the Mova P10 Pro. I'm going to put a list in my show description notes. Again, I bought both of these with my own money. I wasn't paid for this video. I just thought this would be a good comparison. They make so many different models of Q Revos. I probably should compare it to the Pro or something, but the Master, $900, $700. Picture taking, better base station, easier to clean. That base station is kind of tricky to clean. I mean, you can do it. I do think the mopping's a little bit better. I like that auto remopping, and the app for the Q Revo is full of features. You just get better. It's just an overall better user experience with a lot more features. The Shark is so basic. It does a good job of mapping your house, but you hardly have any settings. That's the wrong one. Home basement, there it is. You just don't have a whole lot of settings. You know, you get a clean report, but only after the initial cleaning. You don't get, like, you can't see the whole month's worth, where on the Q Revo, it's history. You can see for a month, which is kind of nice. There's the vacuum job. And see, I can't see the previous mission. But anyway, you know, in the carpet verification run on the Shark is not tricky, but it's like an extra step, where on the Q Revo Master, you don't really have to do that. But I will say, I've had both of these in my basement now for almost 2 months since I moved, maybe 3 months. I've had them on a schedule. They both make it back to their dock. They both, dirty water tanks are full. Well, this basement's getting pretty clean, but they're both reliable. Now, I just did a review on that Navigator. It's a very budget, it's front-facing LiDAR. I got a whole video on that. That's their latest one. It's not an improvement. It's just a budget anyway. Back to these two. They both make it back to their base station. When I come down and I catch the Shark mopping, I'm like, ooh, it looks cool mopping. I guess it's doing a good job. I come down some days. And when I see the Q Revo Master, well, yeah, it's doing a good job too. So the Q Revo Master is just a better overall experience, but the Shark is just okay. You do lack quite a few things compared to the Master. I'll put links to these in the show description notes. If you purchase them using my links, the products don't cost you anymore, but I do get a small commission from the sale. It is a way of helping support my channel. That way I can continue to buy these robots and give you my honest opinion. You know, comparisons, if Roborock was sending that to me, well, they may want me to do a comparison, but Shark probably wouldn't want me to. I don't know. I don't want to get into that. But I buy them, and then I can pick and choose and compare them with whoever I want and say whatever I want about them. I do review robot vacuum cleaners for a living, so I'm trying to give you my honest opinion from my about 2.5 years of full-time experience working on these. I've learned so much. If there's something I missed in the comments, leave them in the comments down. If there's something I missed, leave it in the comments down below. I really do appreciate everybody's support. If you could, please like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.